Have you ever wondered why some people struggle with patterns of fears, lies, and addictions that seem unbreakable? The Bible calls these influences unclean spirits, and today I'm going to show you what they are and how to recognize their influence within yourself and others so that you can easily identify them. Unclean spirits are basically another name for demons. Jesus constantly casted them out, proving his authority over them. And the reality is that the enemy comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. He does this in many different ways. That's why the Bible actually names different unclean spirits, each with their own patterns. For example, there's the spirit of fear. Paul told Timothy that God hasn't given us a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. Fear shows up as anxiety, dread, and torment. Then we see the lying spirit in 1 Kings 22. So this spirit twists the truth, fuels deception, and even false prophecy. There's also the spirit of divination in Acts 16, which is a really common one nowadays. And this one pushes things like fortune telling, horoscope, witchcraft, anything that points to the occult instead of to God. In Hosea, the Bible warns against the spirit of whoredom. So that's the spirit that drives sexual immorality and even spiritual adultery, pointing to idolatry. Isaiah 61 talks about the spirit of hopelessness. So it shows up as depression, despair, hopelessness. Romans 8 mentions the spirit of bondage. So this one is really powerful because it keeps people chained to cycles of slavery and addiction, whether that's drugs, alcohol, gambling, pornography, just anything that keeps you stuck in bad behaviors. This spirit wants you trapped and believing that you can't be free from these destructive habits. But I can tell you firsthand that when the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. And Jesus set me free from the spirit of bondage when I was deep in drugs and alcohol, thinking that I would never be free, that I would never stop doing these things. As soon as I turned to Jesus and I asked him for help, I asked him to free me, he broke those chains off of me. So moving on, John chapter 4 warns about the spirit of the Antichrist. So that's any influence that denies Jesus Christ as Lord and tries to replace him with false religion or self-worship, which is something that we see a lot in New Age. Everything is about manifesting your desires and you are the God of your own reality. So all of that falls under self-worship. Hebrews 2 talks about the spirit of death. So this one works through suicidal thoughts, premature death, constant accidents, or even just a crippling fear of dying. In Numbers chapter 5, they talk about another really common one, which is the spirit of jealousy, that controlling, suspicious influence that fuels envy and mistrust. And then Job 41 describes the great sea creature Leviathan, which many understand as the picture of the spirit of pride, arrogance, self-exaltation, and just refusal to submit to God. So when you look at these spirits together, you see the same pattern. Every one of them is designed to steal, kill, and destroy. But the good news is they all bow down to the name of Jesus Christ.